Welcome back, students. This is the second session of chapter 3, that is, what is government. In the last chapter, we have learnt about what is the meaning of government, and we have also learnt about what all government does. We have also seen at initial level that which are the different levels of government that works for the country. Now we will see about the laws and the government. Okay, that is, how does government makes laws. Government makes laws for every citizen and everyone has to follow it. This is very compulsory. By making law, government can function. Okay, unless and until there is law in place, nothing will function. Okay, the government would not be able to work properly. The government will not be able to function properly, and that's it. That is very sure. Okay, government has the power to make the law and also has the power to enforce it. Okay, so it is the power. Fine. So in our school also, if we make some rules and regulations, then those are being implemented, and it has to be implemented basically in a very proper and in a very manageable way. It has to be also seen that all the functioning of the school goes on very properly. For example, if there is no proper rules and regulations for the school, then sorry to say the school won't work in a very proper way, and so is the government will not work in a very proper way, and all the people in the country will totally get disturbed, and there will be lot of crime, and there will be lot of chaos which will be created into the country. Okay, people can also take steps if they feel that a particular law is not being followed. Now students, I want to make clear this particular sentence, that it is not only government makes the law and it is they implement it. Even we follow the rules and regulations, no problem, but it is not important that if you see any injustice which has been done by anyone, by the government, so it is upon us also that we can raise our voice against it. So whenever we see people for on strike, whenever we see them on road with different slogans, etc., then it is that we can see that people are raising the voice against government. Okay, there might be some possibilities that government can also make mistake, because they have to manage many things, huge things. So for that reason, yes, there are chances that they can make mistakes, or they do not have certain solutions for some of the things. So for that reason, it is upon the people, it is upon the citizens of this country that we also can from our side make them aware about certain things. Okay, now when government makes rules and regulations, for example, if a person who is having a motor vehicle but he does not have a license, then he can be caught, okay, while driving without a license, and he can be jailed or he can be fined a large sum of money. Okay, so the criteria given by the government is you should be 18 years completed, your age should be 18 years completed for getting a driving license. Below that you are not eligible to get a driving license, and you are not eligible to ride any sort of motorbike or the car. Okay, if you are been found doing that, then government will have a penalty, or they can put you in the jail. Okay, so this type of rules and regulations the government does. Okay, some of the additional actions that government can take is, fine, if a particular person finds that he is from a different caste or religion, and if he goes to one particular company to get a job, and if the boss of that company does not allow that person to give him a job based on his religion or caste, okay, so that is again a crime, or that is again against law. And if that particular person or that employee files a case on the boss of that company, then here the court will take action against that company and that boss. Okay, so depending upon the laws which are mentioned in the constitution, the penalty or the we can say the fine or whatever the punishment is, the boss or the company has to take into consideration, and they have to follow compulsory. Now here you can see types of government. Now we have a concept called as government, but that is in different countries, no problem. But as different, the countries are totally different. There are diversities of countries again. So there is diversity in the government also. So there are different types of government, and these different types of government are given different terms. But first we will see which types of government we are having in different countries, and we will relate them with the government which we have in our country. Okay, so the first one is the non government, that is the anarchy government. Okay, here basically there is no government only. It is a small group of people which are functioning together mutually, and most probably there are possibilities that there are no rules and regulations which are being followed over here, but they take care that there will be smooth functioning of this type of government. Okay, the second part is one, that is monarchy and dictatorship. We have the explanation further. Then we have few, that is oligarchy, and we have junta, and we have all, that is democracy. Now in democracy we have two types again. We have democracy, we have, sorry, direct, and we have representative. So India follows the all type of government, that is democratic government. Okay, that is democracy. So in democracy we have direct and we have representative. Now what exactly is meaning of direct and representative, further we are clearing with this topic. Okay, this is monarchy. Now monarch means a ruler, a king. Okay, so as we know, in olden days, since ancient time, we were having some of the kings and monarchs which were ruling. Now also in some of the countries there are monarchs which are there, and those are only the authority who are governing. Okay, so the decision is totally been taken by the monarch itself for the welfare of the country, well-being of the country. Here he alone, the monarch is alone the government, and he makes and implements the law. Okay, so he has the power for doing all these things. Later we have dictatorship. Now dictatorship, a government in which a single leader or party exercises absolute control over all the citizens and every aspects of their lives. In most cases, like students, now wherever you see dictatorship which is there, okay, this absolute power is exercised in a very cruel way. For example, if you see Korea, so we have Kim Jong as a dictator over there. So there is lot of cruelty. There is one small documentary video based on how people live in this country, North Korea, and how much restrictions they are having, how much rules and regulations they have to follow. Okay, you go through this particular video, or if possible I will share this on the Google Classrooms for your reference. Okay, other names for the dictatorship includes autocracy, military junta, right wing, authoritarianism, totalism, and fascism. Okay, these are other names for the dictatorship what we are having. The other type is communism. Now here a small or a private ownership, there is small group of people who makes a community, and they work for this particular government. They form a government and they work. All the economic activities are taken. Economic means money related activities are totally been considered, and other welfare systems are also been considered by this type of government. Okay, oligarchy is again a sort of government which is equal to community. There are few people such as a dominant clan or clique, or they have power. Okay, the group gets their power from either military, wealth, or social status, and only answers to each other. They are not answerable to the citizens. Okay, now this is very important aspect of the government, that you must be amazed that how can government answer the people, or how can government ask, or how can people ask for anything which has been wrong done to the government. So in oligarchy basically it is not possible. Here the government does not answer to the people whatever they are doing, or what if they do any sort of mistake, then government does not answer to the citizens. Okay, citizen has limited or no role at all. That means full power is with the government, full power is with the people. Okay, even if they make mistake, no problem. Okay, they can later handle it, but citizens should not ask them that why have you made this type of mistake and who told you to make this type of mistake. If you can't implement the rules and regulations, then who told you to make the rules and regulation and give it to us to follow it if you are not able to follow, etc. This type of questions are never asked in this type of government at all. Okay. Yeah, this is democracy. Now India is totally following democracy. The meaning of this word democracy comes from the ancient Greek word meaning people and the rules of government. Okay, it is a system of government of a country whose leaders have been elected by the people. Now in India, if you see, if you can ask your parents, you ask that what is exactly the process of voting and why do they go on this particular day of voting and they go and they give their vote. Okay, why do they give their vote? Huh? So here people elect the leaders. They do not select the leaders, they elect the leaders. Selection and election, these two are different things. Selection is we focus on a particular we focus on particular person and then we select him. Okay, but election is different. Election is like there are different views in between the people and then elections are held and the voting is done and from that the person is being elected. Okay, 100%. When the elected representative meet in parliament to make laws, the form of government in is a parliamentary democracy. So when this person is elected, he has to take care of each and everything, following the rules and regulations, making the rules and regulations, welfare of the citizens, healthcare of the citizens, education of the citizens, cleanliness of the society, etc., which is the main role of this democratic government and which has been totally followed in India, compulsory. Okay. Now here, this is very important. Abraham Lincoln has said democracy is a type of government which is for the people, by the people and to the people. This sentence is, children, remember all the time. This is very important. Okay, democracy is for the people, by the people and to the people. We people form the government. We people elect the representative. Okay, and that is the reason why this representative who is been elected is a particular representative. He is the appropriate person who will be our leader and he will guide us. He will take us on the right track and he will help us for our smooth functioning of our society and for the peaceful society. Okay, so for that reason democracy in India is for the people, by the people and to the people. I am repeating it again so that you will understand this term very clearly. Okay, now what is the difference between monarch and democracy? Okay, here you will get to know. Fine. We have aspect as a column, we have monarchy as a column, and then we have democracy as a column. Okay. Now, aspect is ruler, how the rulers are. In monarchy, there is single ruler, and in democracy, we have collective or majority of rulers. Selection of the ruler is ascribed status, that is, it is individual, basically inheritance. Single family rules from generation to generation. For example, students here, Japan is also having a monarchy. They have an inheritance of 2000 years. That means their forefathers, their ancestors who were there, they were from 2000 years, and now whichever monarch we are having in Japan, okay, so that monarch, the ancestors belong to 2000 years. So much long journey of their particular government they are having. Okay, in democracy there is achieved status, elections are held and people's decision is very important in terms of selection of the ruler. Ruling system and ruling mechanism, how does it takes place? Okay, in monarchy it is royal and only few lines. Okay, royal in sense our representative in democracy which we select, no matter if he comes from any background, he can come from a poor background, he can come from middle class background, no matter, but it is our duty to elect him very properly and make him our leader. But in monarchy it is not like that. Monarchy, there should be a person who is from a royal background. Okay, here in ruling system, in democracy, we have legislative, judiciary and executive. These also terms I will be clearing it to you in the next session. Type of government is traditional political system, and in democracy we have modern political system. That is, in monarchy it takes this type of government is taking place since a long time. Okay, from many years the same rules and regulations have been followed, traditional method has been followed to select and particular there is here is selection, here we have selection and not election. Here we know that the king's son or king's daughter will be a monarch again, okay, or the queen again. And in democratic way we have modern type of political system. It is, we stick to the rules and regulations of the constitution. Whatever new rules regarding voting system is, that we follow. Okay, how are the political rights? The right and power meant to the royal families. There is no freedom of speech at all for the people. And in democracy, right and power is with the people. Stress on the freedom of speech. Here people are having freedom of speech. Here the representative is having freedom of speech. He has the right to speak something. Okay, but in monarchy there is no right to speak. The people cannot speak anything. Okay, that is one particular thing. Type of authority, it is traditional authority, and we have rational legal authority what we are having. Okay, so this is just a difference between how monarch and democracy works together. There is a lot of difference in these two things. Then we have next as what is democratic government. Okay, India is a democratic country. Fine. This is a precious achievement by the Indians after their long and eventful struggle against the British for freedom. Now, when Britishers were there before 1947, when we received this, when we got this independence, Britishers were following the government based on, we can say, dictatorship. Okay, they were very cruel, and whatever that decision was, the people of India has to follow. Just imagine, students, it is our country, it is our land, it is our people, and here the Britishers came and they started dictating us, they started giving orders to us, and that were very cruel. Okay, now very wrong way of governing anyone. Fine, but later after 1947 we have a democratic type of government. Last time we have seen Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. He started making the constitutions, started writing the rules and regulations for the constitution. He was having a team of 300 expertise which were very much intelligent and educated in terms of law. They started writing the rules and regulation because they were knowing that after 1947, when India will be getting independence, there should be some rules and regulations and a government in place. There should be also a leader and there should be different representatives, so that this whole country will be managed in a very proper way. Okay, because that was a time when Britishers were going outside the countries. They were moving to their own places. They were making India free, and that was the reason why we were in need of a proper and a very important law, rules and regulations, so that the people will follow. Okay, now the main feature of democracy is people have the power to elect their leaders. It is ruled by people. People rule themselves by participating in the making of these rules. Now, students, tomorrow you can also be a leader. You can also be a representative of this democratic country. If you are doing some social work, if you know the rules and regulation, if you are interested in going into politics, etc., tomorrow you can be a representative. It is not important about the economic background. It is not important whether how much money you are having, or it is not important whether you belong to a royal family or not. Okay, here anyone can be a representative. Only the thing is that the work should be proper, and he should have that leadership qualities into him, and that is the only way how we can make this type of democratic government a very superior, and we can take or we can set the bar of this particular type of government in a very proper way. Okay, so this was the end of the second session what we are having. Kindly go through the pages in the textbook, that is page 31, page number 32, what we are having and go through the type of government what I have explained it to you. Any doubts, we will be clearing it to you in the live session. Okay, and thank you very much for listening. Thanks a lot.